Peace and love, you beautiful miracles of spiritual level of being. Nathan here from a spiritual level of being, and today I want to discuss the Arab slave trade, which began around the early 17th century and stopped around the 1960s as it was continued or stopped in one form or another. Now, the reason it's called Arab slave trade is because it was taken part with mostly due to Arabs, particularly of Muslim faith. Not all were Arabs. Now, this is also a reason why we don't call it the East African slave trade, because it wasn't just in East Africa. These raiding parties or battles of jihad were also in European countries as well. Now, in 1842, a British general in Morocco wrote a letter to the Sultan, Moulay El Hassan, sorry if I butchered the name, but he asked if he had any plans to stop slavery or at least the slave trade, where he responded he wouldn't do anything about it as it was normal since the times of the sons of Adam, and the Quran allowed it. Now, this was justification for almost 1300 years of slavery, which is horrible. Now, one way they gained new slaves in the Muslim world was that a child was born by slave parents, so born into slavery, as was common in ancient times as well in other nations. Now, another one was non-Muslims were captured during raids or jihads, and thus taken in as slaves. They were also allowed to be bought at the market or traded, and they were also allowed to be given as tribute to someone. Now, white slaves would often be allowed to rise through the ranks, as black slaves would often struggle with this and often would remain slaves for the rest of their lives. Now, the Arabs that would raid the European settlements would particularly look for white women to take them back as sex slaves, and also lighter-skinned individuals as they seemed them more educated. Now, in this time, the Muslim faith was very, very racist. Now, they would also take these individuals that they captured from the European towns or cities, and they would take them back to their African strongholds, where they would also capture, convert, or sell the natives. Now, they stopped raiding the European settlement in around the 1840s, and this was due to the Americas that were securing safe trade routes. Now, Muhammad himself even captured black slaves, but he even said they were worth less. He even traded 2 black slaves for another slave that come up to him and asked if he would accept his pledge. Muhammad agreed, but didn't know this African male was a slave. Now, this is the problem with religious dogma, especially when they allow slavery. As we start evolving, we start becoming more compassionate, more rational, more loving. See, we're all humans. Wherever there's another human, there's an opportunity for kindness. So this filth should never even happen to begin with. And this is due to religion, due to material gain, expansionism, saying that I'm right or I'm superior over you. And this mentality is messed up. It's ignorance. We're all equal. And really, we should be working towards being a community, putting differences aside and learning from each other. This is how we truly advance. Not every culture has met each other and straight up done battle. Some got along, did trade, communicated, exchanged ideas, and they would advance. So we should be really sharing our knowledge, being kind to one another. So peace and love, everyone. I love you all. Connect to one mind and soul. Namaste.